Hi, everybody. So today I want to look at this notion of um, we're trying to fix ourselves. We're continually trying. We think there's something wrong with us, and we've got to fix it. So, and that's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing thing that's happening to us. So that even when something seems to be fixed, there's something else comes along. So we've got this constant drive to fix ourselves. We try to fix our diets. We fix our bodies. We're trying to fix our routines and regimes. We're fixing our moods or mindset. Um, it's a bit like we're on a never-ending DIY project, patching ourselves up, sanding, painting, but nothing's ever quite finished. It's just ongoing. But the truth of the matter is, you don't actually need fixing. What you really need is to see things differently, see things in a different way, which will make life a lot easier for you. Now, let's be honest. When we're in fixing mode, it feels productive. It feels like we're doing something. We have a purpose. We're achieving something. But often fixing is really just self-criticism in disguise. Underneath the activity and the energy that you're using up is the whisper that goes on, I'm broken. There's something wrong with me. And, it might not come out loud, but often it can do. But it's running in the background. It's running in our interactions, how we go about life all the time. Um, one of the metaphors you can use is like being in front of a perfectly good mirror, but there's a smudge on the glass. And instead of just wiping the smudge, we start chiseling at the mirror. We don't realize there's actually nothing wrong with the mirror. We just misunderstand what we're actually looking at. And that's why I talk about seeing, because when we see things differently, everything can shift for us. And when we see this idea that we've got to be fixed all the time and we go about it, it can feel really draining. We're always having to correct ourselves, always adjusting, tinkering, trying to control things. Actually, that's a really important point. We, we're trying to control whatever's happening in the world, which of course is not possible. Not only what's happening to us, but what's happening in the world. So we try and fix, our food choices, our weight. And if none of that works, we're going to fix our attitude, our thoughts, all that kind of stuff. So despite all of the efforts that we have, there's still this sense that lingers that it's not enough. Um, Another way of looking at it, another way of looking at the struggle is it's like, when you've got a beach ball, you say you're playing in the sea or in a swimming pool, and you've got the beach ball and you're pressing underwater and you're trying to keep it underwater. Now, you can manage it for a while, but it takes a lot of effort to do that. And eventually the ball will pop back up. The thing is, the ball isn't the problem. The ball was never meant to be forced down under the water. Uh, Living in fixing mode is like wrestling with that ball every single day. And for some people, throughout the day. So consider how stressful and draining that really is. So, what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is when you shift from this desire to fix things to see things differently. So, what does that mean? Well, it means pausing and noticing what's really happening. So, when you get the feeling of anxiety or the feeling of stress that comes up, or you're just uncomfortable with something, there's the clue. That's the signal. That means it's time to pause and notice what's really happening. So instead of immediately rushing in with the idea I've got to repair something in me, you actually consider what's going on here. What if I don't need to fix anything? What if I just need to understand things better? See, when you see things clearly, we stop mistaking our mood swings or our thoughts that are going on for permanent truths. Um, we realize cravings, we see slumps, we see emotions, and we see all of these things as temporary. You know, this is where we use the analogy of the weather. They float away. They don't need to repair. They just need noticing. And by noticing, they lose their grip on you. And it can sound really counterintuitive to how we're brought up. We're actually brought up to believe that we do need fixing. We need to be better. We're not good enough. We need to be more. Um, but actually, that's just not true. See, the most liberating thing about all of this is that you were never broken. You've just been caught up in a misunderstanding. You're believing old stories. Um, you're mistaking thoughts for facts. See, at your core, there's nothing wrong with you. See, at your core, you wouldn't have got here today if there was anything wrong with you. And when you recognize this, then what happens is the pressure to fix melts away and your energy shifts from correction more to curiosity. You become interested. And from that place of curiosity, change just naturally happens, not through force, but through clarity. You see things new, you see things afresh. So, it's a good idea and it's just a suggestion, but try it for yourself. Um, when you've got this idea that there's something wrong with me, I'm doing something wrong, I shouldn't be doing that, I need to do this better, those kind of things. Catch yourself in that kind of mid-fix thing. I'm going to do this, I'm going to change this. And that could be about what you're about to eat or whether you're going to beat yourself up for skipping your exercise that you don't want to do, or the fact you're in a low mood. Just, this is really important as well, as if you're in a low mood, if you're not feeling good about yourself and you're beginning to question, there's something wrong with me. So that's the first thing. Just pick it up, and your feelings will tell you. The feelings are the key. They'll tell you when this is the right time. And then pause and ask yourself, what if I don't need to fix this? What if I just need to understand it better? Just do that. Reflect. And then notice what happens. And you might well see that space opens up for you. See, when you stop wrestling with the beach ball, it often opens up to the most powerful change. See, we're taught to believe that change comes from effort, but actually, it more often comes from stopping and stepping back, seeing things differently, and going again. You see, you don't need fixing, you need seeing. When the fog clears, you might notice that not only is everything okay, but you're whole all along. You're as you're meant to be. Um, Everything comes from clarity and predominantly because we often take things too heavy. We see life as being hard. We make it hard, and it's like trudging through treacle continually when it doesn't have to be that way. You can just take it very much more lightly, and you might well be surprised what happens when you do. So go lightly.